to Der999 Unboxes, the PowerA enhanced Super Mario Bros. 3 controller. It took 10 months to get here, and yeah, as you can tell, this is post commentary on this blind, of course. But yeah, it's post commentary because something went horribly wrong. Either I messed up my mic so I couldn't record, or something else went wrong in the process, which happens every so often on YouTube. You just gotta learn how to deal with it. But because my more efficient process, since I've been improving my process the last few years, I haven't had that many mess ups like this. But it does happen every now and then. Something goes horribly wrong. But yeah, so in this video, I was comparing the Super Mario Bros. 3 PowerA enhanced controller to a for Nintendo Switch it's a budget. It's a $30 to $40 to $50 to $60 depending on how you get it, depending on where you get it from and its availability, at least in that style. And I'm also comparing it to, as you can see, the Nintendo Switch Pro Controller, a legit one, a limited one, mind you, so it's a bit more expensive, a bit shinier. It's the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 one, my evil modded Xbox One controller, my good old trusty Wii U Pro controller, which I've been using on PC forever, the Beduo N30 Pro 2 controller, in GameCube colors. That doesn't matter, but yeah, and then that's me saying that, oh, by the way, something I missed when I unboxed that in the last episode, or in an episode, because I have a terrible uploading schedule with these videos. But basically, it has a couple new buttons for syncing and whatnot. But anyway, so let's unbox the PowerA enhanced Super Mario Bros. 3 controller. Now this sucker is nearly impossible to get. Not to find. You can find it on Amazon, you can find it on Walmart. It's a Walmart, I'm pretty sure it's a Walmart exclusive, but you can find it on Amazon because, of course, you can. And usually its price is around $50. If you see it for $60, that's too high, but it's actually worth that. We'll get into that later. If you see it for $30, that's cheap. We got it for $40. We got it for $30 because of Christmas sale. We meant to get it on Black Friday, but my sister was too slow. By too slow, I mean a minute too slow. It's just that good of a controller, at least from the art. The art's amazing, as you'll see in a second after we look around the box. But anyway, so the art's amazing, and the controller itself, because I'm gonna spoil myself here, because I don't know if I don't know, like, I don't like rewatch my videos in full. I skip around to see if everything's fine, if all the edit stitches are good, but I don't actually, watch the entire video back. I don't have time for that. I know every other YouTuber pretty much does, but I don't, and it always works out fine, most of the time. But anyway, here's the controller. As you can see, it looks really, really nice. And as I'm finding out in the past, the buttons are amazing. They feel really squishy. They're not as snappy as the evil modded controller is, but the squishiness is cool in its own respect. It feels really nice. It's really smooth. It's extremely light, even with the batteries that come with it. I plan on putting AAA lithium-ion rechargeable batteries in the battery bank. Yes, it has replaceable batteries, so you can do that. Or basically you can have replaceable batteries, which is nice, which is what Xbox does, which is what PlayStation and Nintendo doesn't. Which it's up to you whether or not you consider replaceable batteries a good or a bad thing. But if you use lithium-ion, there's no reason not to. Gives you a choice. Gives you more choices over just you're charging it and you can replace it, or you could have the Xbox One controller like I did, was put the official, or not official, I think I got the official battery pack for it, but it charges through the port and you can replace the batteries if you want. It's just amazing. And this controller is just as good, except it doesn't have a fancy recharge battery thing, because it's not a first-party product. But anyway, for a cheaper controller, it's in the middle tier of Nintendo Switch controllers. I've unboxed cheaper controllers in the past. The 8-bit dual controllers are cheaper too, except the N60s with the grips, because they're basically N60s with the grips. I forget what they're actually called, but you know, the modern ones are $40. They're a bit more expensive, but they're still cheaper than a plain Nintendo official first-party Nintendo Switch full controller, which I believe is around $60 or $270. Whereas if you want friggin' not nunchucks, jeez, what I'm talking about. If you want, oh my word, I'm blanking on what the Switch's remotes are called. How am I blanking on what they're called? Okay, but anyway, what they're around $80. That's correct. I just blank on names of stuff sometimes. But anyway. So now I'm comparing the buttons, and Nintendo's buttons are squishy, but the good kind of squishy. Whereas this is squishy, and it's a bit squishier than Nintendo. The Wii U Pro controller is much more clicky and snappy, like the modded controller. So it's good if you want squishy buttons, squishier than stock Nintendo. And I haven't had the stick problem like I had with the Nintendo controller. Which, by the way, spoilers: if you watched my last Ruby Game Clips video, and actually one other, I've been using this controller, and it's amazing. It by far is my second favorite, if not favorite, third-party controller ever. My first favorite is the Mad Catz Nintendo 64 controller. But that's nostalgia getting in the way. If nostalgia's not in the way, this has an extra stick, it wins. Well, and also another Z button or trigger, so it wins. And it has things on the back too, like the mod controller, which is amazing. And there's not really any other good way other than the PowerA enhanced. There's a lot of PowerA makes a lot of controllers. Makes a lot of skin controllers, so if you want a Zelda one, there's definitely a Zelda one. I know for a fact this is a Zelda one. I don't know for a fact what other ones I have, but I know I saw a Zelda one. So if you want to see it, if you want a Zelda one, you can get it. It should be more plentiful at the moment. It should still be in production compared to this. This is out production. But yeah, no, this is by far one of the best third-party controllers ever of all time. Is it basically, should you get this over a Nintendo Switch controller? Like I said, it's lighter and feels a tad bit cheaper because it is a tad bit cheaper. Showing my real paddles on my mod controller. But it's really up to you whether or not it's up to you whether or not you should get this with an official controller. For one, you don't have HD Rumble. HD Rumble's incredible if you ever felt it. It's basically Rumble 2.0 or 3.0, whatever point we're on. It's outstanding. But this controller does not have it. It doesn't have you plug it in and you're good battery. You have to actually swap out batteries either with lithium-ion rechargeables or with alkaline. I would suggest lithium-ion. They are cheaper than normal batteries. At least I could find them cheaper on Amazon than normal batteries. And you don't have to ever replace them until they actually degrade. So yeah. Alright, that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Totally worth it, and I've been using it on camera, so I'll link in the description the videos I used it with, and it's really amazing. Alright, thank you for watching, and I guess, see you, oh wait for it, see you in a second.